channel's not that bad. It's
All views expressed by the hosts and guests in this podcast are solely their opinions and do not reflect the opinions of their respective employers. Guests and hosts may maintain positions in the assets discussed in this podcast. This podcast is for informational purposes only, and nothing in the podcast is intended to be financial, legal, or even life advice. GM everyone, welcome back. Welcome to another episode of More Than Speculation. In today's episode, we have Dennis and Simon from Alliance. Now, before we get into their background and what Alliance is and all of that, let's jump straight into our usual rapid-fire questions. Please take it away, sir.
Okay, the first question is for Dennis. Why Web3 gaming have been underperforming this cycle?
So, in my opinion, it's a little bit, it has a little bit to do with market factors itself. Like there's a new hype cycle with AI and everything. So it's naturally underperforming because of that and because we are just coming out of a bear market. But I think it also has to do a little bit with the quality of the games, where there was no or only a few real standouts in terms of quality, where it kind of carries itself through engaging game loops.
More about the game loops later. Simon, what do you think is the next catalyst?
Yeah, when we are talking about Web3 gaming, then a lot of Web3 games so far have been more about tokens than gameplay, actually, and that's made it harder to attract mainstream players at the moment. And I guess the next wave of adoption will come when players don't even need to think about Web3 anymore. They just play a great game, and the benefits of the decentralization are built in under the hood. I guess once we show that real-time multiplayer can be decentralized too, performant and fun, I think that will shift how the entire space is viewed.
Dennis, last questions. What got you into Web3 at the start?
So mostly it was technological curiosity. This is the same as Simon. I have a distributed systems background. Around the 2021 bull market, I was looking for a master or a topic for my master's thesis, and saw the big traction of Web3 or crypto space in general. And I was looking at ways to kind of get money back from other study groups, because we in the distributed systems group study group, we had a lot of actors, a lot of infrastructure that generated data, and we basically gave the data to our partner group, which is training AI models. So I thought maybe it could be some kind of data marketplace, but I guess I was a few years too soon for that. Maybe no, it would have been better.
Nice. Yeah. All right. The first questions. Let us dive more into the background and the original story of your projects. So what about Simon? How did you get into Web3 and gaming? How did you both get into Web3 and gaming, actually? Or how did you guys start it?
Yeah, I guess I will start, yeah. For me, it really started with a strong interest in computer science and blockchain. I've always loved the games, not just playing them, but really understanding how they are built, what's under the hood. Yeah, and then I came across the first wave of crypto gaming, like everyone else. It was Axie Infinity, where it started gaining momentum. Yeah. That was the first time I saw how blockchain could actually change how games work. Yeah, and suddenly it wasn't just about playing, it was about owning things at that time, trading them and being part of a big economy. Yeah, that really pulled me in and made me want to dive deeper into the space to understand what's already possible, and even more so what could be possible in the future. And there we are now. Yeah, and around the time, Dennis already mentioned it, I was studying computer science, and that's actually where I met Dennis. We were in the same research group, as he already told, working on distributed systems. And we quickly realized we shared a passion for decentralization and gaming, especially the idea of rethinking multiplayer from the ground up. That's really where the journey began for us, yeah.
Oh, nice. Actually, I used to be one of the biggest Axie bull.
Yeah.
I used to have like $300 playing the game, and I actually play it daily. I actually enjoy
That's
it.
awesome.
It's like Yeah, it's like rock, paper, scissors with a bit of money gambling. I love it.
Exactly.
Dude, I was just gonna throw you like a curveball. Okay, like you're like a Web3 gamers, but like, what was the last non-crypto game that you have played, Lambro?
I still play League of Legends every 2 weeks with my
Okay,
boys
okay.
because like my body does not support me to play basketball anymore. So I still to hang
Oh
out with
my
my
god.
boys. I still play
Okay.
League of Legends. I only play this one
Okay.
character because it's been so many years. Or they change all the skills and like seasons of it. There's only one player I can play now.
Okay. So you're more of a MOBA guys, but yeah, like I want to take a step back because like obviously you guys created Chain of Alliance. You like started with that. Would love to hear a bit more of the story. Like how did that come to be? Because I was actually a very big like MMORPG gamer when I was young. So like yeah, that's also like one vertical that I think a lot of like MMORPGs folk were like, hey, like yeah, like if I have a sword, I sell the sword for a few $1,000s, right? Like that was like part of the thesis I remember in the last cycle. So yeah, if you can just share to the audience, like how did you start that?
Sure. So with Chain of Alliance, it started for us as kind of like a prototyping project. We wanted to push the uh, boundaries that were possible at the time. So we saw that most Web3 games or crypto games, they were like Axie. You have an NFT, you have then centralized logic where you can play with those NFTs and get rewards that get then, yeah, emitted on the blockchain. So what we wanted to do is with Chain of Alliance, we had the whole game logic on chain. So that means that every time, so at the very beginning when we started, we were building an auto chess game. So I don't know if you're familiar with the genre. If you've played League of Legends, most likely you are through Teamfight Tactics. But the idea there is that you put your pieces on your virtual chessboard, and it battles automatically against other opponents. And each of those phases, we've kind of committed to a blockchain and executed in a smart contract. That was like the very first step of what would later become Chain of Alliance, where it became more of a tactical RPG instead of an auto chess game. And yeah, that was like the very first steps that we had in that direction.
Got it. What was like? I guess now that you've maybe if you can share a bit more with the audience, sort of like how's the journey so far? Like I mean, like obviously you like started with that game. What were I guess like the type of problems that you like discovered along the way that you were trying to solve, and how has things evolved in the past couple of years?
Yeah, it's actually how Alliance Games was born in the end, because we were noticing that at some point the decentralization approach that we had were limiting us in just creating engaging user features. So what we then found is game or players in the end wouldn't play our game naturally. They would play it for airdrops or other incentives maybe, but they wouldn't play it natively. So we kind of took a step back from the whole decentralization approach, put it on a centralized service like the core game. Everything else was still decentralized. But we kind of had this idea in our head then, what if we make the whole game backend infrastructure decentralized, which is kind of where Alliance Games was born in the end then, was where we then took the approach of a public cloud instead of a private cloud that most service providers have, and trying to decentralize the whole game logic. So instead of game projects like we would have needed to do to put everything in a new smart contract language on, so it runs on the blockchain, to be able to just natively switch out one transport layer. Like instead of pushing it to one cloud service, you push it to another, and everything else works out of the box as it used to with centralized solutions. So that is kind of where the idea came from, and we built upon it on that, which then become Alliance Games.
I see. So, it what year did you guys start it again?
Sorry, what year?
Yeah, what year did you guys start it? It must have been a long journey, right?
It was a really long journey. We started with Chain of Alliance. It was 2022, It was right after the big cycle.
Yeah.
Then with Alliance Games, we've started about a year ago now. I think 1.5 years with development of the decentralized infrastructure. Yeah.
Yeah, and during our studies, we already did some prototypes, on-chain prototypes. It was basically around, where Axie Infinity comes big. Yeah, it's a long journey already.
Any early stories? Any stories from the early days that you want to share? I mean, like, I think the whole Web3 gaming, from infra to users, from expectations, has changed so much drastically. So, like, yeah, I'd love to hear some early stories.
Yeah, I mean, the only ones that I still remember fondly was when Simon and I did do the hackathon, like the early prototyping hackathons, where we actually locked ourselves in his kitchen, I guess, for a week to build what would be the first prototype of Chain of Alliance. And now with Alliance Games, where we kind of had the same thing, but we also had to maintain Chain of Alliance, so it wasn't like any lengthy hackathons, but having so many components that we build upon, and then in the end everything coming together to be eventually the first prototype that was worth it.
Nice. So what's the vision of like what's the end goal or the vision of Alliance Game? Like what is Alliance Game in your words right now or in the future?
So Alliance Games, what it is, I can tell you about that. It's to really summarize what the actual infrastructure is about. So it brings basically a new paradigm into the game backend infrastructure. So currently everything is cloud-based, so you are paying for resources that are idling, whether players are playing or not. What we are doing with Alliance Games, since we have the control over the public cloud and can fragment each physical node into smaller virtual machines, is a pay-per-session model. So you pay actually what you are consuming in compute power. That is a business case not only for Web3 games, for the decentralization approach, but also for Web2 games. So because it's much cheaper, and it also gives opportunities for the late success story, like we had with Among Us had, which launched 2 years before it actually blew up with all the streamer popularity, right? If you have a smaller indie studio, they would have run out of budget by then, and the services would have shut down. But with the pay-per-session model, where we have prepaid allocations that only get consumed once it's actually played, it makes that a lot more attractive for developers. And from like a player's point of view, it targeted everything that is currently a big topic in the gaming industry, which is with the Stop Killing Games movement. Since we do have the opportunity for players to actively commit their own resources in terms of either node providers for free, or actually funding the system wallet for games to be hosted indefinitely, and also the MasterCard and Visa stuff that's happening, where we are tackling it obviously because of crypto payments being possible.
So maybe a follow-up question here for Simon. I mean, there's been a lot of like promises for Web3 gaming in the past couple of years. Like, what makes Alliance Games different?
Yeah, great question. Yeah, we did our research, and when you're looking at the Debt Radar top, I don't know, 50 Web3 gaming projects, a lot of them are basically adding just blockchain features like NFTs or tokens on top of traditional game architecture, like you have a centralized server. Others are just another fork of a layer 2 solution promising to scale real-time game logic on chain, but in the end they are still limited by the same core issues. Latency, then you're very centralized at some point, and one of the biggest issue is actually the complexity for developers. Alliance Games takes a completely different approach. Yeah, we are rethinking the multiplayer from the ground up. Instead of relying on centralized servers or forcing everything on chain, writing complex smart contract logics. Yeah, we run our game stations on a decentralized network of independent nodes. It can be community nodes or big centers. Yeah, that makes overall the system more open, fair, and resistant to manipulation. Yeah, while still delivering the fast and smooth gameplay players expect from Web 2 or traditional games. And one of the biggest core problems we want to solve is, of course, for the developers. You can basically use any language you already know. For example, when you are a Unity developer or you are a small indie studio and you are using Unity engine, you can basically write your game still in C# or using existing libraries. For example, as a multiplayer built-in library netcode for game objects, and you can easily with a few clicks integrate Alliance games with it and deploy it to our distributed nodes.
So that is the multiplayer network, or is it a separate, I guess, like feature?
I mean, our core is the multiplayer network where we have community or we have data centers who everyone can basically host a node in our network, and it's free.
I see.
And then when you want to deploy the game, you basically deploy it on all nodes. And then when we want to start a session, for example, we are building a mini ad hoc networks. And in the network itself, we are verify every transaction or every input the user did or will do, and then we build a consensus out of it and verify the outcome. So basically, for example, when we are talking about you want to play a session in Chain of Alliance, and we, as a developer, we have the freedom to choose how many nodes in the network should verify the outcome. So, for example, I'm a security enthusiast, and I want to have a good safety layer, security layer. Then I choose, for example, 5 to 7 nodes, so I can have a consensus of 3 or 5 nodes. And then when the session starts, I will create a sub network, and every node in the network plays a session for me, and then verifies the outcome.
Got it.
Sorry,
Got
it's
So,
a bit technical, but yeah, it's
oh no no
quite
no no!
important to understand how the whole core at Alliance Games works.
It sounded like you designed the framework to be adjustable
Yeah,
for various use case.
Yeah,
Like if they want to, you want to rapid test some games, you essentially allow developers to do pay as you go, and then as well as like how decentralized they want it or how high performance on each thing, which
exactly.
is
essentially
most.
it's a network, right? Like you're not just focusing for one type of product,
Yeah,
so
it's not.
it makes
Yeah,
sense. Yeah,
it's not only a network; it's basically a sandbox system. What we've built, it's quite unique. Yeah.
So what's the long-term mission or like a 5 year vision
the North
for
Star.
this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically an elevator pitch. Yeah, but yeah, in 5 years, our goal for Alliance Games is, of course, to be the go-to platform for multiplayer gaming, not just in the Web3 space, but across the entire gaming industry. Yeah, we are building a network where studios, node operators, and players all come together in one shared ecosystem with aligned incentives and true ownership. Yeah, and at the center of it's all the COA token, powering the infrastructure, enabling governance, and creating real value for everyone. So, yeah.
Yeah. So just to take a step back a bit, I was gonna say, like, for our crypto power users, I think essentially what you guys are proposing, the value add is that your pay per session structure, as well as like all of the infrastructure that you're building, that is a better solution for multiplayer games, even if they're not crypto games, right? So it's a bit of a, maybe I'm jumping the gun a bit, but it's a bit of like a B2B angle. You're gonna sell the services also into, I guess, like these existing popular Web2 multiplayer games and say like, hey, yeah, you see, you can save money, or like it makes a lot more sense if you onboard our products instead of doing it in the old ways and so on.
Exactly. So from our side, what we do as Alliance Games in the end is being a B2B company. We are trying to onboard developers, but we also give build the infrastructure or the incentives for node providers to host. So we have actually an infrastructure. So it's kind of it is a little bit of both. We have to take care of our node providers, which are customers in the end, and then we have the business angle with other gaming studios or developers.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Diving into the token a little bit, like, so what's the role in the token COA in this whole thing?
Yeah, the token is live, right? I think that's the first thing that we have to state there.
Yes,
Yeah.
the token is live. It launched 2 weeks ago. So in our infrastructure, it's a critical part of the payment system. So for one, developers pay it to use our products. At the moment, the multiplayer network, but we are expanding to more to traditional game backend as a service features as well. And the node providers receive it as payment for offering their resources into the system. Additionally to that, in order to become a node provider and to have security inside the system for our developers, is that they need to stake a specific amount of COA as collateral, which we can use as kind of a security for our network. And the token holders themselves will eventually have full governance control over a system. Currently, we are setting every benchmark about collateral, about payments, and all that stuff. But in the future, it will be more of a decentralized governance approach where we hold votes based on how we want to change things, since collateral obviously is flexible, or should be flexible, with the token price. So if we have very high token price and a very high collateral, it becomes a much bigger burden to become a node provider. That is what we want to solve with it.
Understood. So it's a bit like the normal POS. Actually, how does the worker node network work? If you don't mind sharing a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, I've already talked a bit about it, but yeah, basically the worker node network is the decentralized backbone of Alliance games, where anyone with spare computing resources, whether it's a home setup or an actual data center, or, I mean, everyone has somehow an idling VPS server, yeah. You can, when you have free resources, you can join the network and earn rewards by helping run game sessions. Yeah, as Dennis already mentioned, when you want to become a node provider, you have to stake a certain amount of COA tokens as collateral. That helps ensure the node operators are committed and reliable to the network, so they are not providing faulty game results. Yeah, and a bit more technical, but each node runs basically an isolated game logic inside Docker containers. So we are using microservices for it. So it's secure and modular, and very easy to scale for us. And yeah, when the multiplayer game session kicks off, a mini network is formed on the fly from available nodes in your region. Yeah, and these nodes basically simulate and validate every game decision independently. And once they reach an agreement on the result, they finalize it through a consensus process. And yeah, that's making the system fair, transparent, and it's really hard to cheat.
I see. So that's how you contribute to the network and get rewards like post consensus and like all of that. Okay.
Exactly, yeah.
Makes sense. Is there any live game yet already that like people can try, or just to see how the technology is?
Yeah, absolutely. We already have some early demos live. One example is our tic-tac-toe demo, which shows how game logic can run fully on the decentralized network. Yeah, I mean, it serves as a simple but effective proof of tech. You can even claim your rewards on any EVM-compatible chain, which demonstrates how seamlessly off-chain logic and on-chain rewards can work together in our system. And there's, of course, our flagship game, Chain of Alliance. It's our own turn-based strategy game that we already talked about a bit. Yeah, it really pushes a multiplayer network with a bit more complex mechanics than tic-tac-toe. Yeah, and beyond that, we are working with several other studios behind the scenes, of course. More games and early access titles are on the way. And yeah, we're definitely planning to involve our community in testing, and feedback is always welcome. So feel free.
Yeah.
Got it.
Uh, was it hard to attract developers? Like, what's your strategy in getting developers? Is it Web3 native, Web2, or is it any game devs that needed some help, or like, what's your process on this?
So we're currently in the process of onboarding developers to host on our network,
To
but we
host,
are
got it.
yeah. But I mean, it's from a technical standpoint speaking, it is pretty easy by us offering SDKs that they're familiar with. So instead of having to translate all their logic into a new paradigm, into a new language, be it smart contract language, or to kind of roll up the whole multiplayer component that they currently have implemented, we're making a simple migration, which we have also well documented in our documentation. And so for us, we've done it for Chain of Alliance. We've done it for other apps where we have like some of our close partnerships where we've kind of tried to push the or let me rephrase that, where we try to see how hassle-free the process is in order to kind of migrate to our network. We found that it's mostly like a 1 to 2 day migration process, which is pretty good. And yeah, from a business standpoint, it is with full migration support that we offer them to all developers. It is with hackathons to kind of give an understanding on how the network works, how you can integrate your solution into our network. And like from a B2B perspective, of course, with online and offline presences on conference like in this AMA or as in the future next month, yes, where we'll be on the Tokyo Game Show and
Oh,
talking
Tokyo Game Show.
directly with developers.
Ah,
Hey, bro,
okay.
by the way, I'm the Asian here, so like you can say wherever you like. Presences, so good. Hey, so in the Tokyo Game Show, is it gonna be something cool? Like normally people try to plan ahead and have something exciting going to these
Announcement
conferences.
of an announcement, you know.
Yeah, anything interesting you can share us in advance?
I not yet. I'll see if we have it ready by the Tokyo Game Show. I'm pretty confident we do. But yeah, we are. Yeah.
All
No
right.
worries,
I
no
don't know
worries.
how to describe it without being too obvious, but if you
We're
want
not
to
gonna
know,
press you on
then
that.
please follow
It's
it.
okay.
Me no English. Just say okay. I use translator.
Shut up, bro. Okay, wait, but that's a good segue, right? So like Lambro has a lot of like his community and like people who like follows his takes and like power users and so on. How like yeah, like it like I know you're trying to onboard like developers and gamers, but like when you're talking to I guess like crypto users, right? Like crypto power users, like are they considered as like your users? Like if so, like how are you planning to like acquire them? I guess.
Uh, Initially, they are critical part in bootstrapping our infrastructure. So what in order to have an infrastructure which has steps running on it, it kind of is a codependence. Like we need an
Mm-hmm.
infrastructure to host games. We need games to have an infrastructure that is pays rewards. So we are kind of bootstrapping both in parallel. What we want to achieve is to build the network through incentives. So node
Mm-hmm.
providers, which are also part of the crypto users, obviously, like you only need a small node in order to participate in the network and earn part of the payments that developers pay. That is what we try to bootstrap through incentives. And then even if we have no applications running initially, any external applications, but we're also building our own games, our own kind of small arcade in order to
Right,
generate
right.
the traffic on a infrastructure in order to give kind of like a proof of availability to all developers that are interested and want to check it out and can see, okay, there are already X amount of games running on it. And in order to generate the traffic that makes it also showing that it's scalable with the amount of players that they expect, we want to incentivize the users, which is like more, I guess, of your audience that is listening, to play the games that we are building initially in order to generate the traffic and prove the scalability that we are offering to developers. So initially we are very dependent on those. So if you feel like I talk to you, then follow our X. We are working with we're working on setting up programs in the future which may be attractive to you.
All the show notes and all of that details are going to be below. But a quick follow up on that, I guess. So like that's more on the on the users. Like, are you like targeting, I guess, like specific community or like specific region when it comes down to these crypto users? Perhaps, Simon.
Yeah, I mean, we've already had some releases with Chain of Alliance, and I guess for Alliance games, it's the same. We are seeing a lot of energy in Southeast Asia, Latin America, and Eastern Europe. Yeah, they are basically strong gaming communities, and we've experienced it already with Chain of Alliance. And yeah, the early Web3 adoption in those key areas or regions makes these key regions for us as well. And of course, when it comes to our node providers, we are aiming for truly global average, because it doesn't make sense when you are in Asia and we are only hosting nodes in Europe. So
yeah, the latency. Yeah, got it.
So, we briefly spoke
I
about
think
how
I think we should pause a bit. His camera. You might need to go in and out.
Sorry,
no
guys.
worries. It's okay.
Oh, but I guess we can keep going because the next question is for Dennis, anyways.
Yeah.
So, you briefly talk about how you engage with developers. I guess the next stakeholder is going to be the node operators and player. How would you normally engage them, attract them, or keep them in the loop?
Yeah, so initially it's like a very big topic for us, which we are actively designing through and through in order to have the right incentives for node providers and players to play and to engage with our system. So I talked a little bit about it in the user acquisition, but for us it's we want to bootstrap the network through either having staking rewards or to general mining programs that node providers can join without having actively running dApps initially, which we are trying to attract over time. And for players, it's our internal arcade games. So we are rewarding engagement with our infrastructure, either through having tournaments or challenges like crests or leaderboards, which based on their engagement with our infrastructure, with the players' engagement, we want to incentivize them by having specific allocations ready for that.
Got it. Wait, so just to quickly summarize, feels like there are three key takeaways that if you're listening to this, if you're a developer, you can come and build, you can check out their like SDKs and like all of that. If you're like one of these like crypto community, crypto users, you can join the community, join the Discord and so on, like test with some of the games. If you're very technical or if that's your line of business, you can become a node operator. Okay, that makes sense. Is there anything that I'm missing here, Lambro?
Wait, so what's coming next? Like, what's going to be exciting for the next few months, and what should like we look forward to as it comes?
Yeah, we are expanding our game catalog, or we are building on, I guess we are building on expanding our game catalog a lot. We have a lot of partners from our Chain of Alliance days, where we have like partnerships with a lot of other games or game studios, which we are trying to onboard on our infrastructure. We are opening the whitelist constraint, which we currently have for our node network, where we want to onboard more nodes. And in the near future, we are providing, or we're updating the network with our economy update. So it brings full COA utilization and the payment structure live. so you can see or actually calculate for yourself how much cheaper it is for you as a developer to host our games on our platform, and for you as a node provider, what your expected payments will be if you are part of a network. And after that, we are currently designing the social layer on top to enhance the developer and player visibility on the network, to give them a profile to stand out from all other games or all the players that will be part of the network and become power users. And then in the near future, since we have the token live for 2 weeks now, it will be the mainnet migration to have a full COA utilization without a testnet token. Yeah, and beyond that, we're lining up a lot of community events, as I talked about with the user acquisition. So yeah, keep an eye on X and our Discord.
All right. Yeah. So like, in the last question when I asked you about the Tokyo Game Show, you did not want to tell me more. What are the other upcoming events or launches that we should know?
Yeah, I guess Dennis already told every events and launches in the question before.
You can
So
tell me. You can tell me exactly what you're going to launch as well.
no, sorry, I cannot do that. But yeah, I guess our biggest I will back this gun again. So I guess that's coming later this year. We are working so that getting everything ready by day. Basically, the infrastructure, the staking, the developer tooling, and the plans to onboard for the wider ecosystem. Yeah, I guess it's a huge milestone for us, and we are really looking forward to finally opening the network to the public and see how everything works.
Any final message to the audience before I ask you the last question?
Yeah, sure. So as you've heard, we're trying to build the foundation for the next era of the multiplayer gaming. We are actively looking for users to participate in our network, either by being a node provider, either by being a player for our card games, or helping developers that are onboarding on our infrastructure by playing their games. So if that's you, if you are a gamer, if you are a builder, if you are a node provider, we invite you to join us and stay tuned on our X, on our Discord, and become part of the community.
Nice. All right. The last questions that I ask every single guest is, what do you think is required to make it in crypto? Well, let's start with Simon, and then we'll have Dennis follow.
Yeah, I guess I can talk I want only to talk from a developer's perspective, not from an investor, because I'm a really bad investor. so
You invest in yourself.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I guess you need three things when you want to make it as a developer in the Web3 space. It's first of all, it's a long-term conviction, because the space is moving in cycles. We already know the bull and the bear cycles, and you have to keep building even when the hype dies down. I mean, we see a lot of hype. Yeah, the hype train for gaming, for example, is a bit flat right now. So let's see. And I guess the second one is adaptability, because things change pretty fast in the space. The tags and narratives, even the platforms you're building on, can shift overnight. And we experience it already with Chain of Alliance. And the last one is, of course, the strong bullshit filter. Because not everything that sounds promising is actually valuable in that space, and you need to stay focused on solving real problems, and that's actually what we are doing with Alliance Games.
Nice. What about you, Dennis? What do you think is required to make it in crypto?
So I can only talk about the business perspective, like as a builder, what is required, and for me it's very simple. Have a good business case. Don't try to, as Simon basically said, don't try to jump on the next hype cycle. Build what you think is a good idea instead of what everyone else wants, but find the niche market to have your target audience. I think that's the best requirement that you can have.
100%.
And have fun in what you are doing.
Obviously.
For sure. For sure. I mean, like, if I'm not having fun, sometimes I look in the mirror, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing to myself? All right, guys. Thank you for your time today.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
It's a nice time.